Hello everyone, welcome back. So today it's going to be another one of my quick impromptu unedited videos where I don't have any fancy intros and barely any editing hopefully. So today we're going to be looking at what I normally do in these videos, which is usually an unboxing video, and often a sort of vintage or discontinued one, but not necessarily. I've tried to mix it up, so a way for me to get some content out there for you that's a little bit less effort for me, a bonus video on top of all the other stuff that I do. So this one was first released in 2007. It's a flanker to a much more famous and very iconic fragrance. Can you guess what it is? Well, I'm going to tell you. So the fragrance that we're going to be looking at is this one, Fleur de Mal from Jean Paul Gaultier, 2007 release, and the perfumer on this one was the same as the original Le Mal, that's Francis Kurkdjian. The fragrance came in bottle sizes, I think originally, of 40ml, 75ml and 125ml. You can see it's got a similar tin to the original Le Mal, that kind of cylindrical, iconic tin shape really in itself, and of course a white version of that one. This fragrance is going to be a white version of Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mal. Some information on the bottom of the tin there, so that's how that looks. Now let's get actually stuck into this one. So it's got the cellophane on there, so I'm going to rip that off, and they give you a handy little strip to rip that off with. So we'll get the cellophane off, and then the interesting thing with these is you've got to twist them. You don't need a can opener for these, luckily. Just got to do a certain little twist, which is a bit tricky, and the fragrance pops out in the end. Be careful when you do that. So it has the iconic body shape, exactly the same as the original Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mal, but as you can see it's totally white, so sort of porcelain effect, or maybe modelling or looking rather like a white marble statue from Greece perhaps, which is a pretty classy look. Of course, the naked body with the famous bulge there, you either like it or you don't, but I think it's an iconic bottle design. Okay, so the fragrance has quite a few reviews out there, but it's sadly been discontinued. Some of the notes in this one are very simple. It's petitgrain, neroli, chamomile and basil. And I've had a sample for a while actually. I've used a little 5ml decant up. It's very, very strong, beast mode performance, and I think something of a masterpiece. Let's spray a little bit of this one then. Here we go. We'll do 2 sprays, and yeah, what you're going to get with this one is a really, really potent, pungent, kind of musky fragrance with a lot of florals in there as well. It's a little bit sweet, and there is this neroli freshness. There's a slight reminiscence of the original Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mal in there, but it's really got a lot of its own stuff going on. There was a flanker to this one called Fleur de Mal La Cologne that came out. I've also got that a couple of years later, a little bit fresher and lighter. This one really quite pungent. It has a very, very strong performance, as I said before, very musky. It has a lovely kind of floral element, and this sweetness is somewhat synthetic, and a little bit in your face. It's going to be one of those Marmite fragrances that not everyone is necessarily going to enjoy. I have got an unsolicited compliment from somebody in an antique shop who said, "I love your aftershave." It was on a jumper that I was wearing, so I think it really leaps out there and has this strong performance. And the smell leans a little bit sort of unisex, or not quite like anything else you've smelled before, but there's a certain sort of white, clean freshness going on. There's this floral element, this sort of almost powdery, slightly synthetic, in your face pungent thing. It sort of borrows a bit from the original Le Mal, but it's very, very different and has its own character as well. And underlying that, there's just this hint of this kind of gnarly muskiness, even reminding me ever so slightly maybe of a more floral and even more dandified version of Yves Saint Laurent's Choros. And perhaps were they mimicking that at all, because it's got the same classic kind of white statuesque bottle design, although this one, of course, a man's body. Chorus has its own shape. So a really, really exciting one for me to add to my collection. I got it in Savers in the UK, 75ml bottle here, and I got it for a reasonably good price. It's now very hard to find, discontinued. You're going to have to pay a lot online. Let me know if you've ever tried this one. And it's coming up soon, by the way, is going to be the continuation of my video, Top 10 Most Iconic Fragrances Ever for Men. And I'm going to do 5 more coming up soon. So let me know what you think about that and about Jean Paul Gaultier's Fleur de Mal. As ever, thank you very much for watching. And remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project.